How do you describe a scholar? How do you define a technocrat? And how do you outline an IITian? Our guest today encapsulates all of these virtues and that X factor which makes a corporate leader. Welcome to another episode of Kansbal Radio. I am your host, Anupam Ganguly. Please welcome Mr. K Ramaswamy, who joined the erstwhile Utmal, emerging to become the general manager. Then he joined Indian Oxygen Limited, which evolved into ISAB India Limited, wherein he retired as the managing director. A big round of applause for him.
Good evening, Anupam. Tell me. I'm equally delighted to be part of this show. Thank you.
Please tell us something about your beginnings in Kansbal. The time you arrived.
Okay. I was after my master's degree from IIT Kharagpur, I was on a scholarship to West Germany.
Okay, excellent.
So as part of the thing, after the language program, I was in Kuwait, who was a collaborator with Technology Limited with L&T at that point of time. So I was trained for heavy castings and paper machinery castings in Kuwait.
Okay.
So after the training, I returned to India in 1963 March. I came to Kansbahal. I came by flight up to Bombay and then took a train right after Rourkela and then to Kansbahal. That was in March 1963. And then I joined as an engineer in the foundry. There were colleagues from Germany whom I used to know. And at that time, the general manager was one Mr. Ackerman. And then there were changes, and over a period of time, I became the foundry manager and then overall group general manager of Kansbahal operations and Calcutta-related sales. And then two of the colleagues of mine from sales was Mr. Jaiswal and also Madhok. And then when my job was partly, I decided because all the children, all of them probably, Karthik, Arun, Deepak. Deepak was small. I felt that he needs a bigger city exposure.
Okay.
So I had an opportunity to join after 24 years of service in Kansbahal to join the board of, or I would say what they call chief executive and then vice president, which is in board invitee with Indian Oxygen Calcutta. So I worked with them another 12 years and then the company was sold to ISAB India and I was asked to shift to Bombay. I was in field by that time. I felt I'm quite happy with what I have done. I decided to get back to Chennai. I joined one of the firms here, which I worked for almost 10 years as a director and president. The company I tried to improve. In the later part of the years, the values were a little different than what I was expecting in terms of, clearing the material from customs without paying and all that. So I called it a day. Since then I settled down and Chennai. God has been kind enough that Karthik, Arun, Deepak, they all academically with blessings from everyone from
absolutely.
The primary school under Mrs. Rodriguez and later on, good teachers like Mrs. Bijinder Singh and others, Mrs. Ratnabhat and so on. The children did well and academically then they had the opportunity to go and study in US. Whose details you know pretty well. Generally, God has been kind to both my wife and myself. And while we were in Orissa, my wife, she was also equally committed to the township life with fairness to everyone, whether it is South Colony, North Colony, Central Colony. So she was well accepted. And then she won the Western India music competition. She won a gold medal because there was a Masterji coming from Rourkela. I was teaching Western music.
Excellent.
Not Western music, Hindustani music. And she did well, and then she has been continuing. And when she came to Chennai, she had a lot of interest because while in Kanswal, she had opportunities to interact with every community, whether it is from Orissa or Bengal or UP. So she could learn the different Punjabi food and then from the Germans. So she has won a lot of cookery competition, including from the Rotary Club when she was chosen as the cookery queen of South India. That was years ago. Now life is retired. She used to be active in one of the ladies' club which does welfare work for around, so, like school children, feeding the poor children. For example, on birthdays of the children, or we feed the poor, corporation school children. And sometimes we just rather than spending money on something else. This is something we have been doing over the years, and generally God has been kind enough to give a reasonably healthy life. Occasionally there is some problem with the age, but we are generally happy with the blessings from. And Kanswal, I personally, enjoyed working with everyone and participating in social functions or religious functions, whether it's Gurdwara or Jagannath Mandir or Durga Puja or school functions. So I had no malice towards anybody, and including the tribals, living far off places who were working in Kanswal. And then later on in the Indian stuff, home and training occasionally I used to go. Then I visited only once when I was invited for some meeting in the Indian stuff, home and training. That was long, long ago. I can only recollect the various these things of Kanswal, whether it's a Republic Day or a drama function or some Motel Jyoti or everything we felt we were participating, and sort of fairness. I can only quote one instance for what it is worth. We had some strike. There were two unions in Kanswal. And tribals, they are not very Adivasi, they are not very familiar. So when the tribal there, almost no food, no salary. So one of the guys living beyond Mandira Dam, I got a news from one of his, sir, अपना खुदकुशी करना चाहता है, उसका बीबी बहुत रोती है, so आपको देखना मांगता है. It was right up the Mandira Dam. I went in a jeep, and then from there I walked almost another 10-12 kilometers. At the family, and the wife was crying, and all. I said, don't worry, we'll take care of it. So I took him with me, and then she also came. I don't recollect, or only he came. There were other colleagues, I don't know, whether it's Etial Bara or I wouldn't know who came. Then we took her to our hospital, in Kanswal in township, Kanswal. So she was treated. Immediately one of the police guy, head constable who was in charge of the day, sir, he was trying to commit suicide, you didn't report the police. I said, all right, I will just talk to my cousin, who was at that time a distant relation of mine, who was a superintendent of police in Sambalpur. No, it's all right, sir. So that was sorted out. But I felt very satisfied that I could save a life and save a family. I mean, there have been few instances like that, meeting people and all that. Still I am in touch with few of the people, but it is slowly tapering off. Let me put it. I am still my wife is still in contact with Mrs. Soor. Soor is of course no more. Then Mrs. Gupta, Deepangar Gupta, and then other people. So, and somehow then this Kanswal cover that Louis Swamy, he is in Chennai only. He comes once in a while. So, the life has been kind and good to me. I am thankful to God and also the people of Kansbahal in every respect. I only felt sorry that to leave it, but circumstances decided, and I had to also look at my good career. So I have been fairly comfortable with the Indian option, and I was well received all over that company. We have so many branches across the country. So God in general has been kind to me. That's all. Okay.
That Utmal L&T township as you saw it, please. The township planning, the town planning, the township.
No, I was not involved. When I joined the North Colony, Central Colony time, I was there very much. And North Colony, I can only remember all those houses. Mostly they were Germans. We were in the D1C somewhere. Then D2C. Then slowly came up there. But I can only quote an interesting episode.
Please.
I don't know whether you want to censor it. We had some union agreement. Sometimes starts with the tea in the canteen. So makhi gir gaya and that kind of a thing. Then in the agreement it was, at that time Mr. Batra used to be the chief of the canteen and all that food related thing. One day he came and Bobby, pata nahi wo साहब ने बोला है इडली बनाने के बोला आप बताइए कैसा करना है. So she made and idli, if you are familiar with it, it has to be very soft, So when he went to the canteen and he supplied, साहब वो फिर चिल्लाता है हवा भर के बेचता है. So this is a joke I still remember over the years. And then there are also sorry instances when Rodrick's son and Mr. Shivasa's son, they all got drowned in the Shank River. So that was also time. So that is another thing I recollect. But generally I would say that we are in touch with this M.E. Rajan's daughter, who was in charge of machine shop. Still some people made that this KV money. I met him recently. There was a marriage of Mr. Mathur's grandson, Mathur's grandson. So that I met. So but I must say I'm not as active as anymore in communicating, New Year or this or that. It's just tapering off. But I must say, overall, I am blessed by the people of Kanswal. It helped me to build a career, a clean person in my personal life, clean living and not a single paisa, indirectly which I didn't deserve to earn. And school was good, whether it's a Montfort or the Utmal English Primary School. And it's a big asset to Kanswal. And then when I left, obviously, I was also sad, but then it was a sort of a mixed feeling. I said, okay. But afterwards, I visited only once after many years. Then I am still in touch with Mr. Kashyap, Mrs. Kashyap. Once in a while, they talk to me, we talk to them. So life goes on.
Wonderful. Any inspirational figures you saw in Kanswal in your during your period?
I would say that some of our draftsmen in design, people think that everyone, some of them are extremely hardworking and very committed to their work. And the sad experience also, I must tell you, when I became the general manager or DG, I don't recollect, the substation, we have one in the Central Colony. Now, there are very, very strict instructions to substation in writing from me, so that it cannot be opened unless it's cleared by so and so. At that time, Mr. S.K. Dev, I don't recollect his initial, I think Dev only, I remember. He was a foreman or something. Then our Amlan, I wanted to see the substation. And he says we have some project where we have to put up a substation. And Dave, I think, apparently told him, no, we don't allow. He said, 2 minutes dekhega. Then he went in, then Viplav and Gupta, Raju and 2-3 people. It is a very high voltage substation. Somebody reached, maybe touch, may not be. There was a flash, he had problem, and then Raju and then one more. They all, died. That was a very pathetic this thing, It was a destiny, but then we felt so sorry that it had happened, because they are all as individuals, good engineers, good human beings, and friendly people. This is one instance. Then there was another one in the steel yard. When Mr. Salem joined for, he was there and steel yard was reporting to him. So he wanted to put a good thing, put a sort of a shed with tin sheets, so that in summer the workers won't get can have some rest.
Yeah.
At that time, he asked me, I said, I'm not in favor because sometimes you have air and strong winds, etc., it can fly.
Yeah.
Then it happened, and then three people or, I remember 2 or 3 people, their head was chopped. I think one got saved or 2 died.
Oh.
That was another. These are the 2 accidents which happened in my time.
Yeah.
And foundry, there were some fire and all that, but I was here on a vacation. Then I got a call. I was in Chennai. I think my father's death anniversary or some Shraddh, I had come. I got a call, and then I had to rush back. Foundry, somebody poured something in the furnace, and there was, I think, Andarjami Samal or some people died,
Okay.
There was another sad instance I recollect for a period of time. But otherwise, generally, life was very good, people were very good. And personally, I mean, it's for others to judge me, but I felt I was honest, tried to do my job over a period of time. And
Absolutely.
God has been kind to us. That's all I can say.
And any life lessons from Kanswal you would like to share with the audience, with the Kanswal radio audience? Any life lessons like?
You see, I mean, this is my view. It may not be. You see, if you make honest statements, then you don't have to remember it. It will automatically come.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you pull a fast one, then you have to remember to whom you told and what you told and in what circumstances. So that is one I learned. I have been always very honest. I can also quote another instance. I have never asked anybody to go except one case in Kanswal. I still remember in the foundry. We had a mason by name Rajpatram, I think, initially. Then he made a train driver, somebody also works in the settling. One day morning I come at 6, sometimes I come early morning if there is some pouring, Then there was a lot of metal in the furnace and the crane won't move. He says, then I came, जब तक हमको ये overtime देगा हम काम नहीं करेगा. Then I didn't know what to do. I said, okay, काम नहीं करो. Immediately I phoned up our labor department. Antia, we had that deputy from Bombay. Antia was there. I told him, you pick up his card and take it out. Immediately he saw that it is not more difficult than this Rajapatra game. I said, sorry, you would have killed so many people, you would have damaged the lives of many of these employees of the company, you have to call it a day. I said, all I can do is, I can give you a fair parting deal, and your nephew, whoever is there, we will be fair to him, which I did until I was there. But I had asked him to go. That was the only case where I had to be little firm, because it could have killed a lot of people with his which could have done a lot of damage, because if the metal boils and this and that, it can leak. That was one instance.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, and then the social functions of Kanswal, they were all very nice, and I would say, and then township, if somebody dies, we also that pathetic situation, and everyone joins together to sort it out. So it was a wonderful life, I would say. That's all I can say.
Okay, before
and just to sum it up, I think one can learn a lot of things: comradeship, helping each other, honest living, and focus on children's values, so that they have their playtime, their school time, and then drills and all that.
Absolutely.
That's the way. And then one last instance I recollect, there used to be in the school we used to call him Sardatta, teacher. His father used to be a secretary of one N.G. Chakravarti, who was a foundry expert, specialist. So Karthik used to every day teach him up. Those days we had no school bus or anything. So on his cycle and take him to school. He did it for I think 2-3 years, Sardatta, there are a lot of respect for, the kind of respect for they had for the teacher is something amazing. I'm only quoting as an example, but there are others equally good. So are the sisters of the school, They're all very, very committed, and Kanswal children have done well in their life. That's all I can say.
That's very true. That's very true.
That's all I can say. You be honest, fair to others. Others will be fair to you, and fair, God will be kind to you. That's the way I look at it.
Any hobby you practice in Kanswal, you still carry on? Or?
See, over a period of time, when we were in Kanswal, this Dr. Chaudhary had just introduced the computer, right?
Okay.
When I moved over to Calcutta, one of the suggestions made my boss was, sir, you have to introduce a computer in Indian Oxygen.
Okay.
Now, generally, you're from Bengal. I am a half also. I'm really comfortable Bengali also now. So I said, union, we had a union president, and his name was also Ganguly, very fine man, and our president was Jyoti Babu.
Okay.
So he said, sir, we are happy, we will cooperate with you and all that. Then office staff, if it's a half an hour break, they'll stretch another 15-20 minutes playing carom or, cards. This is a very popular thing in Indian office. I couldn't break. So my manager somehow tried to introduce computer. They are dead against computer because they say it will take away jobs. So what I did was I had two computers guys coming in to demonstrate. Sir, amake computer nahi. Chalme nahi khane. Okay, I said, all right, I am only, they want to demonstrate, they also have to make a living. Then what I did was, I told him that guy, you show what are basics, and also in computer you can play cards as well as in a carom. So one man looked at it, second man looked at it, there were about at least 10 people looking. Sir, ye to bhalo ache. I don't mind, amake computer operator designation hai, ami karvo. That's the kind of thing, I never went against, even in Indian auction, I had a good relation. Then I must also tell my first experience. The day I went around, the man who was aspiring for that position, he took me around. Then he said, you have a look at the one table was there. There were some 20, 200 page notebooks, Then I said, you open it and see. It belonged to, he said it was written Sri Rama Jayam, Sri Rama. They in Calcutta they don't call Madras, they call South Indian. Okay. So he said in the book, all Sri Rama Jayam, Sri Rama Jayam, Sri Rama Jayam. So I said, we had a peon. So I told him, you said you to store it all in the office store, and then we will see what is to be done. Next day this man tried to get that. I said, I don't see anybody. So then, one moment, then he tried to, I said, no, it's a problem. I told him that, sir, this is my way of protest because outgoing material only I used to sign, now incoming material also they want me, so that's why I didn't do, they transferred me. I said, look, it is not going to help, Sri Ram is not going to help you, you have to do on your own job. If you promise to do your job, I will give back all your books. You can write during your tea break or lunch break, but not during office. You have to set example.
Absolutely.
Then, that spread, that you be fair to the people even if you have to do something. So that helped. And then there was administration manager, Mr. Ganguly. He was also, overall, the 10, 12 years I spent in Indian auction, that was also a wonderful time for me.
Must be.
Yeah, so this is all I can say is, be fair to others, and God will automatically be fair to you, and don't depend on God everything. You have to do your part of work in life, towards your family, towards your work, towards everything. This is the way I look at it. And then I came out to Chennai. I worked in one of the local firms for some years, and then called it away. And I did some consultancy also for a short period.
Wonderful.
One fellow said, sir, can you give me a machine which can kill mosquitoes? Anyway, I gave him an idea which was later patented by somebody. It's like a spiral, this thing will suck them. It's like a exhaust fan, it'll suck the mosquitoes and kill.
Okay.
That was long ago. But as of now, I just take a walk, read books, computer. I see a lot of information, and it's a big thing. So that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for.
It was a
giving
pleasure
us-
talking to Anupam. May God bless you and your family.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I could share some of my this thing. And
Wonderful. I mean, this is,
my total period at Kanswal was 24 years. And then probably I could remember almost everyone's name, whether it was a machine shop or a foundry or a security or kind of thing. Anyway, life go on. There's also a lot of jokes about everyone, so I don't want to go about it. But great, life great. Thank you talking to you. All the best. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks.
After that tryst with Kansbal Yadein, it's time to say that this episode is brought to you by the combined efforts of the Compere team, the technical team comprising Muhammad Ali, in coordination with the core admin team. Goodbye. Stay tuned.